This program is rated 14 plus and may contain mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Crime Beat Most Wanted. I'm Tracy Tong. Tonight, police are on the hunt for two suspects they say targeted a community in the heart of Toronto. More than 50 rounds were fired in Regent Park, taking the life of a 27-year-old community center youth worker and injuring his two friends. Jabril Elmi and Rajaden Angus Campbell are two of Canada's most wanted. Police need your help in bringing them to justice and believe they may be in the Toronto area. Here is Catherine McDonald with a hunt for most wanted Jabril Elmi and Rajaden Angus Campbell.
So this is the exact same route we would take every day heading towards Regent Park. It's not a really big area in terms of policing it and patrolling it, but it's really dense, it's really populated, and there's a lot going on. And there's constantly new buildings coming up, new condos, new construction. There's a lot of people moving in. There's a lot of newcomers coming into the neighborhood as well. And Regent Park has a lot of Toronto community housing units, so a lot of tenants are housed in these neighborhoods, in these buildings. So there's a lot of people that live here, a lot of families that are new to the country, that are financially struggling and just trying to make their way out.
Mustafa Popolzai knows every turn of this neighborhood. He's been on the beat here for 7 years.
I feel like it's my second home. I was born in Kabul, Afghanistan, and I was 14 years old when I came here. So I've seen quite a bit of tragedy and trauma. And even when we migrated to Ottawa, I spent 10 years in a community housing project similar to Regent Park. So I understand from both sides of spectrum, witnessing violence as a member of someone who was raised in community housing, and then obviously being an officer now and responding to the violence.
Regent Park has a history of gun crime. He's been called to homicide scenes before on Oak Street.
So right now, we are in the heart of Regent Park, the center, and this is where Tain Murray was murdered. He was sitting right there where he was murdered.
That was the sound of gunfire the night of September 18th at Oak and Sumac in Regent Park.
Bullets flew steps away from a playground and behind a local fruit market.
September the 18th, 2021, at 8:52 p.m. on a Saturday night, we received a 911 call for a shooting.
There's condos and buildings all around. So when the shots were being heard, most people that were in their homes, they heard it. And that was quite traumatic for them.
When police arrived, there were 3 victims. So our main focus is to allow EMS, the Toronto Fire, whoever's in the area, to start with life-saving measures, medical measures as necessary.
One person is dead tonight following a shooting in the area of Oak Street and Sumac. One person died at the scene. Another patient has been taken to hospital with serious injuries, and a third person has gone to hospital with minor injuries. The area has been closed and the police investigation is currently underway.
I was at home Saturday night and my daughter called me and she said, "Daddy, Thane just got shot. We're going down to St. Mike's Hospital." I said, "What? What are you talking about?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, shit." I said, "Okay, I'm on my way." I get down there, and then we're all outside. We couldn't figure out what's going on until probably like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then once he said, "You got to go down to the police station," then I knew automatically he wasn't in the hospital. I just knew. And my heart just dropped. My heart just dropped. Went down to the police station, they asked me to have a picture. I showed them a picture on my phone. They looked at him good, and they saw the tattoos and everything. And they said, "Dad, that's your son." He said he passed away at the scene. I was lost for words. I was just dropped right there. And that's when I knew.
Thane Murray was a respected member of this community. He was a city worker with the City of Toronto. He worked with kids. He worked in this community center here, and he was 27 years old. You know, as a police officer, you're always looking for, okay, why did this happen? Why this area? Why these three individuals? The area in which this murder took place and the attempt murder of two other individuals is a big residential complex. If you look at who it houses, it's housing elderly, kids, families.
What do we know about the two victims who survived? Can you speak to their age and what their condition was at the time?
One of them was at that time age 27. Injuries were life-threatening injuries. I would imagine that he's going to be dealing with these injuries long-term because they were quite serious. The other victim was less serious injuries. He's also survived.
The area's cameras captured the shooters. What did you see on cameras?
There are 4 shooters in this investigation. The suspects were wearing dark-colored clothing. They were wearing masks. And again, it's not unusual during COVID for people to be wearing masks, but certainly it's a lot more difficult in identifying people when they are masked up.
Police continue to investigate the fatal shooting of a 27-year-old Parks and Rec worker who was murdered in Regent Park on Saturday night. Investigators say roughly 50 shots were fired, and now they're poring over surveillance video that captured the shooting and the aftermath, including one audio recording which was posted to social media. You can just hear how many bullets were fired.
They were not doing anything different that you or I would be doing, meeting up maybe with a couple of friends, having a coffee or just having a chat because we hadn't seen each other for a while on a nice September night, and this happened.
You never thought your son would be a victim of gun violence?
No. When I heard it, and I heard it in the news, you would think, okay, this is gang related, like 4 people and 50 shots. Like, that's crazy. None of these guys are into any trouble or anything like that. Just standing outside by the community center they worked at, and then this happens. You just don't understand it. You just don't get it. You just don't get it.
As word gets out, I witness the heartbreak of a community. Just across from a playground, people spent the day untangling helium balloons that spell out the name Thane. The balloons were left here on Oak Street in memory of 27-year-old Thane Murray.
He is a good boy. He works at the community center, Dixon Hall, K Club. He's a role model for this neighborhood. And now look where we have him on the sidewalk, dead.
And I discover something that sparks fear in the people who live here. Investigators tell me they are working on the theory that the suspects may have been trolling this area, and anyone in this neighborhood could have been a target. You believe that whoever is responsible for the murder of Thane Murray and the attempted murder of these 2 other people came here to terrorize this neighborhood?
They definitely targeted the area. There's no doubt in my mind that they targeted the area.
Police are on the lookout as anxiety grows.
We are not safe in this neighborhood. We are not safe.
After the break, police reveal the faces behind 2 alleged mass shooters. Welcome back to Crime Beat Most Wanted. I'm Tracy Tong. Tonight, police are on the hunt for 2 of Canada's most wanted, Jabril Elmi and Rajaden Angus Campbell. Police allege they are wanted in connection with a brazen and deadly shooting in Toronto's Regent Park. They need your help calling in tips as to their whereabouts. We now return to Catherine McDonald and the search for Jabril Elmi and Rajaden Angus Campbell.
2 years ago, PC Mustafa Popolzai was assigned duty at Thane Murray's memorial site.
We're on Oak Street right now, and this is where Thane Murray was murdered. His memorial site was right here on the sidewalk with flowers, candles. I vividly remember that basketball that was here left, and that was because he was a youth worker and he spent a lot of time interacting with kids and the youth in the community. So somebody had brought a basketball and left it there.
I didn't sleep last night, and I just see the smiles and walking the bright face that I see on him. And when I listen to the kids and I listen to my son, the sadness that you see, and it hurts.
The community grieves the loss of a mentor and son.
Look at this one when he was with the Christmas tree, the small tree. He was my firstborn. I always knew I was gonna have a son. I don't know why, but I knew I was gonna have a son. And I guess growing up, we were really tight. He was like very outgoing. He was the type of guy that everybody liked. He was caring. He ended up being a youth coach there. So every time he worked, it was all about the kids.
So did it mean a lot for him to be working in the neighborhood where he grew up?
Yes, I think he just kept coming back to what he loved, which is giving back, working with the kids. And I always tell my kids, you know, try to find something that you like to do. Money's one thing, but you gotta like what you're doing. And he liked what he did. So that part of him of giving back to kids and installing his knowledge into them so they can learn, I think that was where he was. He was at peace there.
That peace was shattered when Regent Park was targeted by 4 shooters. So these men were shot just because they were in this area?
That's correct.
That's terrible.
It's horrible. It's horrible. They were not doing anything different that you or I would be doing on a nice September night, and this happened.
I heard they were driving around for a while trying to find somebody, and they're just shooting just because. Like, I don't understand these things. It means like it could happen to anybody. It just happened to be that they were there, which is even sad. It's even sad.
Fear sends this community inside, behind locked doors.
A few days after the murder of Tain Murray, I was parked right where the memorial site was, and this park was empty. I did not see any kids, anyone outside in this neighborhood because of what took place and the violence that took place. Most people did not want to come out and were probably fearful and scared for their lives. And that's why, you know, we were detailed to patrol the street to send a message and let the community know that we are with you. You're not alone.
As police keep watch, detectives hunt down those responsible.
The investigation is very challenging because of what's transpired here. I mean, to have an area targeted. There's also the fear from residents, okay, if I come forward, am I gonna be at risk? It strikes fear into the minds of people who normally would be out with their kids, going to school, going shopping, taking transit, and if they're of the mindset that they're at risk, then they're not gonna come out.
In the community's darkest hours, support pours in.
I'm seeking unanimous consent of the House to observe a moment of silence in memory of Tain Murray, a 27-year-old City of Toronto youth worker who was tragically killed in a shooting in Regent Park on September 18th.
Members, please take your seats.
The community was very helpful. There were people that came forth as witnesses. It speaks to the concern of what's happened here. Nobody wants these type of acts, these murderous, barbarous acts in their backyard.
As the holidays approach, Toronto police announce a big break.
2 Toronto men charged with murder tonight in a brazen multiple shooting in Regent Park. Police have now arrested and charged 2 20-year-old men from Toronto with first-degree murder. An arrest warrant has been issued for 27-year-old Jabril Elmi.
So December 13th, 2021 and December 14th, 2021, 2 males were arrested for the murder of Tain Murray and the attempt murder on the other 2 individuals.
What was that like when you heard that they had made 2 arrests?
I was really relieved, but I mean, it doesn't take away anything because it's not bringing back my son. But hopefully some justice gets done with these 2 people. There's got to be something done.
The investigation turns to hunting down Jabril Elmi.
Mr. Elmi is about 5'7", approximately 180 pounds. He does have a medical condition in his right eye. It is noticeable. The other thing about Mr. Elmi is that he's got protruding front teeth. So if you were to see Mr. Elmi, those 2 features would assist you in possibly identifying him. But I would say Mr. Elmi is considered to be armed and dangerous, and he's not to be approached by anyone. And I would say if you do see him or someone that looks like him, to call police.
And nearly a year after the crime, detectives announce another alleged shooter.
Police are looking for a man in connection to a homicide in Regent Park.
Tell me about this second accused who's outstanding.
Mr. Rajaden Angus Campbell is approximately 6 feet, 6'1", around 175 pounds. He's the fourth alleged shooter in this investigation.
How do you believe these men have evaded police for so long?
This is a big city. I mean, at the end of the day, Toronto itself is over 3 million people. So if somebody wanted to make themselves not known, it wouldn't be that difficult.
2 years later, the community can still not rest. Police make a bold move and announce that they are both being put on Canada's most wanted list.
It's a very brazen attack, and it's two individuals that need to be brought into custody.
And they turn up the heat with a reward.
The BOLO program offers up to $50,000 for any information leading to the arrest of Mr. Elmi.
Welcome back to Crime Beat Most Wanted. I'm Tracy Tong. Tonight, police are asking you to be on the lookout for Rajaden Angus Campbell. They say he is the fourth alleged shooter in a murder that took the life of a 27-year-old youth worker. He is described as 6 feet tall, or 185 centimeters. He has black hair and brown eyes. He weighs around 174 pounds, or 79 kilograms. We now return to Catherine McDonald and the hunt for most wanted suspects, Rajaden Angus Campbell and Jibril Elmi.
Randy Hamilton is reminded daily how fleeting life's moments can be.
I think it was about 4 or 5.
We got memories, all kinds of them.
Yeah. I like this one. Look, I was looking at Asia and hold it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, well, you see, they're close.
He's looking at him. I was like, no, I got you, buddy. I got you.
Yeah.
Through pictures, he and his mother, Joanne, remember.
What I like the best is this one.
Yeah, I like that one too. He didn't mind taking pictures though.
He said no, he'd love to have him take pictures.
Got the style.
Mm-hmm.
Got the style now.
Yeah.
With the hat and everything. I'm looking at the pictures and I just keep saying, why? Why? It just hurts. It's like I cry every day. Every day. It's just hard to fathom. Especially, you know, it's like, it's not even just your firstborn, it's like your son. He didn't even have a chance to be a father. As much as he loved kids too, you know what I mean? So all that was taken away from him, for what reason?
Murder took place, most people refer to it as the youth worker that worked at Regent Park Community Center. The center is vital to Regent Park, and the reason for that is all the youth and kids go there.
But after the shooting, its courts and parks are empty.
After the incident, there was a lot of community members, especially parents, that said, what are we going to do next? You know, our kids are scared. How can we, you know, get them back out there in the community? So at the time, I came up with the idea of, creating a basketball program and a soccer program at the same exact community center that Tain Murray used to work at.
Check this out. That was good energy.
We had a tremendous outpouring support from the community. It made me so happy to see that many kids come back to the same community center where Tain Murray used to work at and play the sport that they love.
How did you get them to come back to the park?
It took time. It took time. I would go to the park myself, grabbing a basketball and start shooting some shots. And then a kid would see me, he would approach me, and then, you know, there we start a conversation. And then the second kid, and the third kid, and the fourth kid.
Oh, hey, take it easy. You can't shoot like that.
I remember there was a day, it was raining pretty heavy too, and these kids wouldn't want to stop playing basketball. And I was telling them, listen, I'm getting wet, like, we gotta go. But they were so into it that they were like, you know what, no, officer, just stay around and just have another game with me.
Oh my gosh!
Today, the heart of Regent is filled with kids at play.
It's nice to see kids back now. There's kids playing, and life seems to be good here today right now. Unfortunately, we don't have Tain Murray among us, but there's a lot of people that have some really fond memories of him and that will never be lost or will never be taken away from us, that's for sure.
Just across from the crime scene, the Mothers of Peace march to stop gun violence.
All of these moms, majority of them know him. He was a part of their kids' life. The pain is only the moms knows who lost their son. But still, this is our child. We are a community. We all feel the pain. And we don't want anybody to go through the pain that the moms who are within us who lost their son, going the trauma that every day that they are going through. Their life never be the same. And it's heartbreaking and it's traumatizing for all of us. We are losing so many lives. And we need to stop this. We must stop.
As the community stands strong, Toronto police are still on the lookout.
When I come here and I see the kids in the background and I see all the community members that are out here, you realize why this case is so important for us to apprehend the other two individuals. Because you want this to be the norm and not what we saw that night.
Here is one last look at Jabril Elmi and Rajaden Angus Campbell. Police believe they may still be in the Toronto area. If you have any information on either of their whereabouts, call Crime Stoppers. I'm Tracy Tong. Thank you for joining us tonight on Crime Beat Most Wanted. See you again soon.
For more from Crime Beat, there are over 80 episodes of the Crime Beat podcast available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.